Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Paranormal Drive-By. I'm Carrie, and I hope you're all doing well today. And if you're driving like I am, please make sure you're being safe. Well, you really shouldn't be watching this if you're driving, so, you know. Anyway, so in talking about all this paranormal stuff and listening to paranormal podcasts and whatnot, I know in my very first vlog, whatever the heck this is, video cast or what have you, I had said, I haven't had a lot of experiences, personal experiences. But by talking with friends and whatnot, and, well, remember that time and remember this and so on and so forth, well, apparently I have had quite a few experiences. It's been interesting remembering things and talking to people and getting into stories and stuff like that. So, and also from my last little episode, so to speak, I forgot the name of that other person that was with us when we went down Whippoorwill. Her name was Wendy. It was her car, she drove. So I just wanted to fix that because I was talking to my friend April last night that was with us, and she was like, that was Wendy. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I couldn't remember her name. But we don't really talk to her now. I mean, it's been a long time. We're talking over 20 years here. So anyway, today I wanted to get into some haunted places. There is a place, and it's well documented. It's called the Spy House. It is in Port Monmouth, New Jersey. You can no longer go into the Spy House. You can go on the property. There is a beach by there and whatnot. They do have like parking and stuff like that, and you can go in there and whatnot, but you are not allowed into the Spy House anymore. The Spy House is now owned by the town, and they use it for storage. So, which I think is a huge missed opportunity for them, because, I mean, you can actually make money on the building and the property versus just using it for random storage. I don't know. Put one of those storage things on the property or something like that if you're that desperate for storage. But anyway, I digress. So we're going back, I want to say, I think 25 years. Dating myself there. I was with this guy, Paul, and he liked all this stuff too. He didn't mind it. So we had gone, I think it was his friend Mark. And I'm trying to remember, like, little details like that. They used to do tours around Halloween and stuff like that. And we got to tour the place, which was crazy. You would sit down in the, I guess it would be considered the salon there. And they would show you like a little video on like reenactments and stuff like that of, what had gone on there. It was used as a brothel. It was used as an inn. It was a lot of spy stuff went down there. Pirates. I mean, we're talking, this building was from like the 1700s. So, and it's right off the ocean. So they would have, like, boats would pull up and they would come up the stairs and whatnot, and they would stay there or eat there or what have you. So, there's a couple of little stories. There was a story of a pregnant woman that was standing at the top of the stairs. She was maybe about 6 months pregnant or something like that, and she had fallen down the stairs and died. So when you stood at the top of the stairs, your stomach kind of went out, and it was really weird, and I did experience that. It mostly happened to women, but sometimes it would happen to men too, and they were like really confused and weird. I mean, remember, we're going back 25 years. Then going into the different rooms and stuff like that, There was one room where somebody, I guess, had hung themselves in a closet, and we didn't see anything, but you could feel like, I don't know, like an oppressive sadness. It was weird. It was quite strange. Then there was multiple children that had died there, and you could, there was an area, I think it was downstairs, there was like a room that was like the children's playroom, or people had used it for like the nursery and stuff like that. They had a lot of experiences, and I didn't see this personally, but they had a lot of experiences of you'd roll the ball and the ball would roll back to you. Some people even tried to debunk it by like, it's an old house, that room must be tilted or slanted in some way, and they had been totally debunked by the fact that they used levels and checked everything, and the floor was straight. It was the way it's supposed to be. What else? The basement had a lot of crazy activity. You got a really, really eerie feeling. Well, it's like a lower level, not even like a basement. But anyway, where they, like the root cellar thing, where they kept the refrigeration, because it was a long time ago. But you get a really, really eerie feeling, like a dark presence kind of feeling. It was ominous. You just didn't feel comfortable there. Nobody really stayed down there too long in that area, whatever. They have numerous accounts of people seeing somebody staring out the window at them. Even I listened to a couple of podcasts, and even on one of the podcasts I listened to not long ago, and it's one of their early episodes. They have like 300 plus episodes. I listened to Two Girls, One Ghost a lot. I love them. But anyway, they had an episode and they were talking about it, and somebody had called, a neighbor and asked for somebody that wasn't there. And lo and behold, apparently when the Spy House was a private residence, that person had lived there. So it was creepy because that person was no longer alive. I'm not getting all of that story right. I think it was one of their listener stories. But anyway, I'm trying not to run off on a bunch of other little, tangents and stuff like that. What else? I don't think there was anything much else from that experience, like personally. There's so many stories, which I'm not going to cite right now because, again, I'm driving. Some other stories that I'd heard that I do not have a personal experience to, but they are still places. My mother, when I was a child, told me, like, my mom loved paranormal before she passed away. And when she was a kid, she lived at 666 Amboy Road in Staten Island. And a lot of creepy things happened there. So I have 5 uncles, and then there's my mom and my aunt. So there's 7 children altogether. And my Uncle Michael was a baby and sleeping in his crib, which was up against the window. He was, I want to say, maybe about 8 months old, 9 months old. And a lot of them are all now passed. I have one uncle left and my aunt, that's it. But he had been sleeping in his crib and everything like that. And next thing, my grandmother and my aunts knew, because the rest of my uncles were at school and stuff. My Uncle Michael being the youngest. He was out on the front porch, like, porch is a relative term. His window dropped pretty much like right down, but right down onto the porch area. He was laying there, like as if he had fallen out the window. Not a scratch on him, nothing at all. But not long after they had found him, where he was sleeping in his crib, they found a very large spider that could have killed him. It was poisonous. And sorry, I'm gonna chasing the sun here. That would have killed him if it had bit him. So it was a little scary for them. And somehow something had removed him from the situation, even though it looks like whatever it was had thrown him out the window, essentially. But not a scratch on him. So that was very strange. So many different things in this house. My grandmother had gotten a little devil. They had found it in this house. It was about this big, had a little pendant on its neck. It was all red with the hooves and everything. It was a little tiny devil with a big fat belly. And when growing up, we were always told, don't touch that devil. Don't touch the pendant on that devil. If you do, it'll come alive and it's going to hurt you. We never did. Spoiler alert. Because we were not stupid. And when my grandmother passed away, that little devil disappeared. We don't know where it went. When my uncle Steve passed away, and then 2 days later my uncle Robert passed away, and then 3 months later my uncle Michael passed away, all from different issues. It was all explained. Those were explained. It wasn't anything paranormal or anything like that. Just sad. But anyway, when all of that happened, it was my lovely job to drive all the way to upstate New York and clean out the house. Now, my grandmother, this was all in 2019. My grandmother had died in 2016, I want to say. Years are not my favorite thing. So, you know, my uncles had not done anything. They had not gotten rid of any of her stuff. I mean, going into her bedroom, I thought, like, it looked like she had just, like, gotten up to go to the bathroom or something like that, and I missed her walking past. I mean, that's how, like, they had kept everything in that house. They kept it like she was still alive and still there. But, you know, I had to go through all the stuff and get rid of things and so on and so forth, and my entire life, and every time they moved the whole 9 yards, there was it's a round table with the glass on top and the velvet underneath, and that's where the devil was. The little mini devil was right in the middle of that. And my Uncle Michael had told me once that they put it there because the way the middle was of that it wouldn't move. There was no way it could move. Somebody couldn't knock it over or anything like that. So I was like, okay. But this velvet table had nothing underneath. And I had asked my Uncle Michael, and he was like, oh, that disappeared right after Mom died. So I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, when we came back from the funeral and everything like that, it's the first time I noticed it was gone. And we don't know what happened to it, where it went, or anything. So that was a little creepy, a little scary. I do still have that table now, because there's a lot of other memories associated with it. But anyway, my grandmother and my uncles also lived in Rumson, New Jersey. It was right around the corner from the high school. And so it was, they had, it was a cute little house. It was an old house, very old. And it had a root cellar, which is, you know, something that they do have here. And in the root cellar, it was all dirt, the dirt cellar. And being kids, because this was 1980, 1980, I want to say. Really dating myself. 1980, 81, something like that. I was like 5 or 6, and being kids, oh, let's go play there and dig and stuff like that. We found the weirdest stuff. A hairbrush, like a silver gilded hairbrush. We had found bullets. We had found my brother, who was 3 or 4 at the time, had found a gun, but it was all caked in dirt. So, of course, they had to call police and, do all of that with that. That was buried in like a corner of the basement. And then we weren't allowed to play in the basement anymore. In the backyard, we had found the mirror that went with the hairbrush, same design on the back, and it was all silver. The mirror was tarnished a little bit though. And then we had found different little things. So then we were not allowed to dig anymore at all. I mean, we were little kids, and it was the very early 80s. It's not like we could be plopped in front of the TV at any time. There was, Saturday morning cartoons was kind of like it. They didn't have any other cartoon times or anything like that. And, you were a kid. You were told to get out the house, go play, go do something. So when we were at my grandma's house, that's pretty much all we could do was play in the yard. And, we liked to dig because we had done it once and found buried treasure. So, i.e. the hairbrush. But there's so many little things I've been reminded of lately. The things I talked about in my very first vloggy, whatever it is, about our old apartment in the top floor of the Old Victorian, which it just still creeps me out, even just thinking about the feelings you got when you went past that door. And to find that little door in there and not being able to, you couldn't see anything. It was just, that whole apartment was creepy. Still there. I think somebody still lives in it, I'm sure. Sorry about the sun today. It's really early. It's like 8 something in the morning. And just driving to work. So, I'm driving back from work to work, You know how it is. And people going crazy on the parkway. And the sun is just, it's there. There's some other places in New Jersey that are very creepy, very super creepy. Trying to think, there was one other instance in an old hotel that was by me, that it's not there anymore. It was called the Fountains Motel. A lot of people, took their own lives or were killed, or, not a lot of people, but, quite a few. And drug overdoses and stuff like that. And I've had quite a few friends that had stayed in room 16, I think it was, 6 or 16, and talking about how crazy, dangerous it felt. Like you would just get that, when you're in danger, there's somebody kind of dangerous around, you can feel that. It gives you like something's wrong. They would get that. And then hearing different noises and stuff like that in the middle of the night. Not really associated to somebody being like in the next room and doing something. Yeah, move over, buddy. And just creepy things. So that is it for today. I try to keep these very short. I think this is one of the longest ones I've ever done. It's like 20 minutes. But I'm almost at my job. And that's decompressing, get ready to deal with all of that. And, but I wanted to say, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. I've had it on my mind. I'm trying to get everything all together for this vlog thing. I have to find out what the real name of it is, because saying the vlog thingy or the whatever this is and all that stuff is a little annoying to me. I like to kind of be precise. You can follow me on Instagram, Paranormal Drive-By with an E. Hopefully they don't keep taking everything down, because they've been doing that, thinking I'm talking about drive-bys. This has nothing to do with that. You can email me any stories or anything like that. Paranormal Drive-By, BYE, at gmail.com. So sorry about the uhs and stuff like that. You know, ADD brain doesn't allow me to have all these clear sentences going on. I'm trying, getting better. And I hope to see you soon. And be safe out there.